Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. When we last left off, I was thinking that maybe that was going to be the last episode, but then I saw this load. We're actually picking up in the same place that we dropped off that pretty wicked drop-off back over there. We found another job here that is leaving Farmington, and this is going down Highway 64, and take a look at this road. We haven't been down this road before. I figured that'd be a pretty cool trip to do. I wouldn't mind seeing what is up here for sure. It's going to be 325 miles, 6 hours, 22-minute drive, and it's 11 o'clock, so we should be rolling into Raton in the early morning hours, which should be fine. It may be a little bit dark to start the episode, but you know, we'll just roll with it. So let us get going here. We have our four ways on. Let's turn those off and get out on the open road, shall we? All right, everything is awesome. Now this is quite a big load. I do have to say it's an articulated trailer. And we have to mind our P's and Q's for sure. This thing is much wider than your average load here, and I know you can't see frickin' anything now, but we'll roll out of here. It's about midnight, so we'll try not to let the road catch us by surprise. Hey, Dodge Magnum, you better stop, son. And we'll just get on out of town here, get on the highway, and then you can take a better look at what we're hauling here. Well, we got a red light up here, but we've got some street lighting here. So that's what we are hauling. It's a pretty big, oversized load, sort of sticking out the side there. But once we pass this stoplight, we will be in undriven territory. Oh, and of course the left turn lane is going to go. So it's a pretty big, heavy haul here. It sticks out just a touch, but you know, I think we can have some fun here, especially with that road. Now, I don't know if the highway is actually that curvy and windy. I'm sure it is, but it may be scaled differently. But here we are on Highway 64 heading east to Raton, and hopefully we get to see some cool stuff. Well, besides a police car there. We are now in uncharted territory, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Looks like we haven't left town quite yet. There's a McCafe over there. I imagine truck drivers who drive this sort of late shift need all the coffee and rain. You gotta be kidding on me. All right, we'll turn on our wipers. So it's gonna be a rainy, dreary kind of night. Not exactly the best driving conditions here, but we'll roll with it. We're gonna need some high wipers there. Passing the El Mercado supermarket, New Mexico loan. Is there a lot of loan, like paycheck advance places in New Mexico? Just outside of Farmington is where we are heading east. If you are from around that area, feel free to let me know. I'm sure I could do a Google Street View on it, but nah, can't be bothered. So it looks like we're heading out of town now. The highway is merging up here, and we might go down to 2 lanes. Yes, we are indeed going to 2 lanes. I'm going to go ahead and move on over. Oh, and we have a tip warning. Interesting. So if we go faster than 25, we risk tipping over. Is that the sort of feel I'm getting? I believe it is. Luckily, we have a pretty low load in the grand scheme of things. This thing isn't top heavy, so we shouldn't have to worry about too awful much. Let me turn on the brights. Hopefully that fire truck doesn't get too upset with us here. But we kind of want to see where we're going. You know, that's an essential part of driving, you know, being able to see the road. Can't exactly drive well if you can't see where you're going. True. Looks like we got a truck coming up, but we can still see a little bit. The mountains in the distance are really cool. I wish we could get past this fire truck and really get out on the open road here. We do have a passing opportunity, but I definitely don't want to speed with this heavy load. But it is pitch black out here, and we are going through the mountains. I don't want to pass on the inside of a curve. That might not be too good for us. Looks like we have a little bit straight road here. Let me slow down just a touch. Once we get on this straight section of road, we'll go ahead and drop it into 9th and see if we can get the pull here. We're going, buddy. Excuse me. Oh, this is going to end up badly. Oh, good. The fire truck decided to give way, and not a moment too soon. A little daring, I must say, but we got the road to ourselves now. Wow, this is a pretty steep hill. Have to drop it down into 8th here. Keep our momentum up and going. We are at full throttle, but not making up any headway. This would be the type of place that I would expect rock slides with all of this, you know, debris and heavy rocks off to the side. It just looks like in rainy conditions like this, we're expecting to just drop. Looks like we've got a bit of a sharp turn coming up as well. Sorry, bus. Didn't mean to blind you there. Now, thankfully, it is a 2-lane road, so we can sort of take the shoulder if we need to, which we definitely need to with this guy. I knew looking at the road we were going to be facing some pretty hilly conditions, and it looks like we're kind of going downhill now. So we'll drop her into 10th. Yeah, 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we'll go ahead and set the cruise. Let the retarder do the work here. 1 in the morning, mountain road. We've got a convoy of cars behind us. If they are feeling froggy, they can leap. But we're going to hold 45 here as best we can. This is really cool, though, being able to get out and experience a non-interstate and sort of see the peaks and valleys, the hills that we've got around here. Definitely in the northern part of the state, I would imagine. Sorry, semi. I would imagine that definitely there are some pretty big hills and mountains. You got a headlight out, buddy. Well, not a headlight out, but it looks like he installed a new headlight. It's weird. I see that actually in real life, too. Whenever a car is coming at you, you could tell that they've replaced one of their headlights, but their other headlight is on its way out. All right, 55 here, a nice lightning flash. But pretty cool stuff. I hope you're doing well. I hope your weekend went well. I hope you're happy to see another American Truck Simulator, especially something like this, that the road isn't exactly welcoming. We've got a lot of cool trees off to the side of the road. This is more of the wilderness sort of aspect of the states, and I don't know how many states can get away with this sort of thing with roads that are pretty much country roads. Ooh, 65, is that us? Yes, it is indeed. All right, we'll crank it up to 65. Excuse me, semi. Looks like for a out-of-the-way little highway, it's a pretty good thoroughfare up north. But I hope everything is going okay with you. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of American Truck, and I still want to head out west to Arizona along that highway, leaving Socorro, just to see if those radar dishes are down there along the highway. Passing a nice rest area here. Looks like we've got a pretty sharp turn coming up, however. It may be an intersection, so I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down a bit. Yeah, it is indeed an intersection, so we'll be making a left turn up here. We definitely don't want to miss our turn. I have a bad feeling that if we missed it, we would be taking the long way home, for sure. We are going to Raton, and it looks like Santa Fe is straight ahead. We are not going to Santa Fe. This almost feels like a rally track, like we've turned down the wrong way in the wrong road. If we break down out here, it will not be good. Thankfully, we have plenty of gas and plenty of rest. We don't have to stop. But man, this is off the beaten path for sure. A lot of rocks. I was hoping for a little bit more scenic views, but the fact that we're in the rain at nighttime surrounded by a forest definitely restricts the view. And take a look at those curves we got coming up. Look at the curves on her. So we're creeping. I mean, we've got a pretty heavy load through here. This truck is giving it everything it's got. Thankfully, I have a pretty powerful engine in this beast. I would hate to see what these hills would do to a truck that doesn't have it. All right, so 30 miles an hour. I don't think we're going to be encountering any police. So I'm going to try to keep the RPMs up as best I can. Vehicle crash. We did no such thing. Get away from that. So apparently we crashed into a vehicle. Or let's say the vehicle crashed into us. We'll go with that. All right, the rain is coming to a halt. But man, oh man. This is probably the tightest turn I've ever seen in American truck right there. It does feel like a rally track, does it not? It feels like you just want to power out of that and just, you know, hammer down in Scandinavian and flick the thing around. But with a 55 mile an hour limit, I think we may be good. If you could let me know what forest this is, I would definitely appreciate it because it's given my truck the once over. Is that someone coming to the inside lane? It's tough to see their headlights versus mine. I am running the brights. I don't want to blind anybody, especially on this road. Could you imagine getting blinded on this road? $6,000 from Naomi Campbell. Outstanding, Naomi. Good work on you, girl. Awesome. So 55. This almost reminds me of like a redwood forest. Over the river and through the woods indeed. All right, we've got another 45 mile an hour limit. We'll slow her right down here. And we are entering the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge. Oh, how I would actually like to see this in the daytime. So that's the gorge. Unfortunately, not a good look at it. Maybe I should have waited until daylight to do this run. But we don't do that many nighttime runs here. It's a good break of pace. And I'll need you to keep me company, for sure. I might fall asleep at the wheel. Oh. But yeah, a few more American Truck Simulator videos to come. I'm pretty excited to see what is coming up, if there's any cool runs we can do. We've seen all the cities, so there's not going to be any new cities for us to see, but definitely new routes to take. And this may be the point in time where I might get a streetcar downloaded and just sort of drive these roads open. If you would care to see such things as these. If not, I got a pretty good suggestion from one of my subscribers to try the new Stellaris 2.0 patch that's coming on the way. And as a Paradox and Grand Strategy fan, I would have to agree. I think a lot of people would enjoy a playthrough, so I will accommodate for sure. Wow, don't go flying off of that. Man. Yeah, we have some tricky... Did that say no trucks? Well, we're kind of screwing the pooch on that, aren't we? Oh, hello. Looks like we have a club cafe. Interesting. I wonder what club cafe that really is. You got to be a dedicated member if you're going to come all the way out here to hit the club. Now, I don't think that's club like nightclub. I think that's more the lines of, say, a golfing country club sort of deal. I could picture the extremely wealthy driving their Benzes on this mountain road, enjoying the wind through their balding, male pattern baldness head, going to the club. Wow, we're gonna need all our gear right here. Excuse me, pickup truck coming through. Luckily, we had the inside lane. If we had the outside, we might have clipped him like that semi that we sort of ruined his day. Almost 4 in the morning. So the sun should be coming up soon. We have 2 hours and 50 minutes left in our travel time. So the sun should come up, not tomorrow, but pretty soon. And take a look at what we got coming up now. Looks like a steep grade. It does say trucks use a lower gear, so we shall. Let's see how steep this bad boy is. I'll turn on the engine brake here. Excuse me. All right, so far so good, not too awful bad. We do have some pretty bad mountain ranges out there for sure. Yeah, if this is what Colorado is going to be, Colorado is going to be one intense drive for sure. Hey guys, we're trying to pick up speed. Don't mind me. Yeah, we're kind of hogging the whole road, aren't we? We've got a few hairpins coming up. Probably some downhill sections. Yeah, let's use the old engine brake. There we go, we got her under the speed limit down the hill. Just sort of coasting and cruising. We can see a little bit of our trailer now sticking out. The sun is indeed coming out. And we've got an interesting looking switchback here. I would almost like to try to take a streetcar in here and run this as fast as I could. It definitely looks very rally friendly. But these hills on the side, they are definitely unforgiving. Now, as a map maker, I don't imagine this section would be too hard because you don't have to worry about the draw distance because, quite frankly, we don't have one. We are surrounded on both sides by very steep hills. I imagine this highway is pretty vicious to drive in real life. Let's turn on the engine brake here. Get her slowed down a bit with another switchback. I'm glad this is a no passing zone. I wouldn't like one of these AI cars to try to sneak one in on me. Yeah, this almost is like a Formula 1 track surrounded by trees. You know they used to do that. Formula 1. They used to race on roads like this. Watkins Glen comes to mind. Like this wide open sort of actual public street, like surrounded by woods. I mean, if you lost your car in an old Formula 1 race, you were going to beat it. The Carson National Forest. Did I see that correctly? Is that where we are? Could be. All right, let's slow this bad boy right down. And we're rolling into town here. We have a little bit of a settlement. I don't know exactly what city this is. It isn't marked. But a little off the beaten path. But take a look at that picturesque setting. Surrounded by trees. Got the mountains in the distance. This feels like Colorado. Like this feels like the Rockies. John Denver knew what he was talking about when he talked about the Rocky Mountains. Despite what Harry and Lloyd said on their road trip, this is definitely some Rocky Mountain areas for sure. This is a quaint little town, I do have to say. Imagine living here at the base of the mountains. I can imagine this city sprung up from a bunch of pioneers that were heading out west, and then their wagon wheel just sort of fell off, and this is where that's where they set up shop. So 55 and some interesting looking switchbacks. I'm not sure if we can even get up to 55 with these hills the way they are. We're pushing this as hard as we can. Ooh, take a look at that. Take a look at that. What lake is that? That is so cool. I knew this trip would be worth it. Once the sun came up, the world opened up, and boy, do we have a drive for us. Actually, this kind of reminds me of a road trip that I actually took from the Midwest out west, except this reminds me kind of Oregon, the highway that runs right alongside the Oregon-Washington border from east to west. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this. A lot of forests, pretty wide open country, and really not a car in sight. Thankfully, the cars were separated by that stoplight. So we do have to worry about police now. That's unfortunate, but I don't foresee us picking up any real speed here. We are sort of blocking traffic, and I imagine these guys are pretty mad at me in the grand scheme of things. Oh, that's picturesque. Whatever that is cool. The sunshine out there. We're gonna have to get in our lane, man. Sorry, Mr. Yellow. Oh. Slow this bad boy right up, if you please. We're off the gas, off the brake. Yeah, I imagine the Jake brakes are pretty heavy use coming down the backside of this hill for sure. That is nuts. Man, it's like every turn is an opportunity for a picture. I'm not gonna take one, that'll break the immersion. But very cool indeed. Let's keep her an 8th for now. Speed limit's 40, and we do have some interesting terrain coming up. I tell you, this heavy haul, no wonder it was a pretty good payday. Hopefully we didn't damage the trailer itself when we clipped that vehicle. I think we just sort of brushed him. Nope, that's the GPS. Yeah, 0 damage. Outstanding. So we'll still be getting a full payday here. But man, this is treacherous now. Yeah, if you broke down here, you are miles away from anybody. Hello, concrete mixer. I will give you plenty of room, good sir. But man, I'm just taking this all in. I mean, take a look at this. Woods for days. Up to 40, probably going to drop down to 30 here if I had to make a call. I'm glad we filled up before we left. We need a lot of fuel to get a lot of power up these hills. Was that I thought that was a logging truck, but no, just some steel pipes, but this looks like prime logging real estate. Although I'm kind of glad it's not, because I mean, take a look at the creek. That is so cool. This is definitely, I have to say, the most unique state out of American Truck Simulator, and you have to go off the beaten path for sure to see it. But man, oh man. Oh! Sorry, Ossifer. I'm a tourist. Don't mind me. Oh man. Yeah, I think the sunrise approach on this road was definitely the right approach. I mean, take a look. I can just imagine those people that stopped at that town, you know, that we drove through. I imagine they took one look at those mountains and said, "No, sir, not gonna do it." Man, this is cool. I don't trust the 55-mile-an-hour limit, but we'll try to get up to it. Let these cars behind us. Yeah, that's what I thought. That is what I thought indeed. Let's keep it at 45 in 9th. And we have an interesting switchback coming up. Holy crap, this gives you a big respect of Lewis and Clark. When they forged all of this wilderness without a highway to drive down, I mean, holy crap. Oh, some wide open road. Let's exit pit road. Let's get up to speed, boys. I think we're out of the thick of it. Yeah, we're exiting the National Forest. We can see that sign right there, exiting the Carson National Forest, and that was a drive. That was really cool. But we'll be joining up to civilization here. We'll be getting on this interstate interchange, and then we'll just be heading into Raton. But there's Interstate 25. Nice big old truck stop in front of us for sure. But we'll be making a left turn at Albuquerque. Well, a left turn at Interstate 25. Up 2875 from Tina. Congratulations, Tina. Thank you for all your hard work. Take that nice and wide. Let's get down pit road and get up to speed. So we get a little bit of interstate driving, but man, the drive through that highway was pretty incredible. So we're back up to 75. I doubt we'll hit 75 by the time we get to Raton. But man, this feels completely open now after the whole Carson National Forest drive, that is for sure. But definitely, if you want to see more American Truck Sim videos, let me know. I want to thank you for coming along on this journey and through that, through the National Forest. That was pretty good stuff. If you've ever been through the Carson National Forest, let me know. How close was that? Did you see some pretty cool picturesque views like that? Hit me up. But yeah, we'll just be taking this this exit here into Raton, exit 450. I doubt we drove 400 miles, but to each their own. And I don't trust this at 75. I don't believe this is a turn that I could take at 75 miles an hour, especially with the load I do have. Although it is holding the back of the truck down pretty well, I think, so we might have. But we're at 0 damage so far. Let's not leave it to chance, shall we? Yeah, do not enter wrong way. That's fine. And here we are in Raton. Looks like it's going to be a right turn once we get into town here. 55 mile an hour limit through the heart of the city. I do like that, but this van certainly isn't doing that. We did have a slow down sign there, but I mean, it says slow down, but we're at 55. Maybe it was slow down to 55, or it's getting us ready to go under this bridge here. 21 feet. We should be okay to clear that just fine. And looks like Raton is, it'll be our first right. Now, since we do have a heavy haul, I don't think it's going to be a scumbag and put it in a place that is extremely difficult to park in. But I can hope for the best. All right, let's slow her right down here. All right, right turn on red, commencing. All right, swing that baby wide. Oh, don't cut the street light, please. We may have. And we're back to the rail yard. Awesome. So the rail yard is right in front of us. Hopefully the parking is okay. All right, nothing coming on the left. Nothing coming on the right. I want to try to get a nice wide entry in here. And it looks like we're parking up on the right side. Yes, we're parking up right there. We'll drive it as straight as we can here, then cut it. And take a look at this scumbag trailer. I mean, that thing is just trying to screw our day. We'll drive it as straight as we can here. Now we'll cut it. Oi! And let's see if we can get this thing in as straight as we can. Hopefully the trailer follows us around and it'll be a nice, easy park up. But it doesn't look like it is. So do we have a double articulated trailer? Kinda looks like we do. All right, this is going to be interesting. Can we cut it? Yeah, this is going to be extremely difficult to follow through with. Our best shot is to just back up as much as we can and pull it forward. I'm not exactly sure if we can park this thing up as it wants and desires. All right, I think we're going to spin this bad boy around and try it again. We do have the articulation to do it, I believe. That thing is dragging. It's an Imagine Dragon. All right, here we go. Cut it. I think we clipped a little bit, but no worse for the wear. And then we'll come at it again. I'll tell you, that trailer neck right there just decided to ruin our day for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing parked up as best I can. I'll be right back with you. I promise I am not going to skip the parking. You will see this thing in that parking place. One moment. Well, that took longer than it rightfully should, and it still doesn't like it. So I'm going to have to catch this thing. There it goes. Wow. That was difficult, but we parked it. Wow. I'm not going to do that again. But 29,000, we did level up to level 25. We are an instructor. Outstanding. So the next thing that I think I want to get is 1,600 miles. That way I can start doing a lot of bigger deliveries and greater than 1,000. So I think it's definitely worthwhile to get more long distance for sure. And that is going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen, of American Truck Sim. What a drive that we had. It's now 8 in the morning. I'm probably going to sleep a few times here and see what we've got coming out of Raton or Raton. And let's see what we need to see. I mean, not a whole lot. So what I might do is just head on down to Socorro and try to get a run down to Sholo, or maybe Albuquerque to Sholo, and finish up Highway 60 in the next episode. But that's going to do it for me in this episode of American Truck Sim. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next American Truck Sim video. Take care.